Yeah, I mean, honestly, for the organization, it's good to see them back on home soil. For M80, can they keep the good times going for North America? That's the big question, right? Like, it's been their day today, but this is a big task. This is actually what I would consider the toughest task the North American team has faced today. That's not a bold statement.
You've set the stage. You've raised expectation on this match. And put some pressure on w7m.
Wow, 50-50 split as well for our final match of the day when it comes to the A stream. I think for M80, you know, when you think about the changes they've made to this roster, and even then including Fabian in that, will it be enough to overcome a more stable team like w7m? Of course, Dash has gone, Palu comes in, so there is that one change, but otherwise it's still that core roster that we've actually seen make grand finals now and really make their own mark in terms of the history books for what is an established organization.
Did see they did perform though at Boston though for w7m, so I think they're very much looking to recapture the magic that they had prior to that, and I think injecting Palu could be one path towards achieving that goal. We'll certainly have to wait and see just how effective it is inside of the server, but yeah, I mean, M80, rejuvenated squad, looking very strong. They have all the parts. But it's a storyline that, as the desk kind of alluded to, is one that we have seen time and time again for this organization. So can M80 buck that trend and finally actually make it work?
So first bands come out. It's going to be Monty Blackbeard taken off the board in terms of defensive operators, and Azami, in terms of attacking, and Azami and Kaid for defensive. So we get underway first half. It's Shalet once again. 4 out of the 5 games today have been on Shalet for the A stream, so we've very much gotten enough Shalet, I think, for the remainder of this tournament.
That would have been...
We need to put a ban on the map.
That's what I was going to say. Imagine they added that as another additional rule, is you can't play the same consecutive map. I don't know how you would formulate that.
w7m, of course, home soil, attacking first up. That's been the difficult nature of this map. And that's now, because we're going into the 4th time today, actually got a decent little sample size. This is not just like, oh, we played it once or twice. No, we played it 3 times. And in all 3 situations on this map, attacking has proved to be the more difficult aspect. So if you're M80, at the very least, you kind of begin on defense, get to a bit of a good start. Imagine if that trend continues. And both teams have actually gone and bet the 2 bullets.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm going to be honest, I feel like maybe M80 would have been the team of the 2 that would have maybe only gone in with the 1.
Yeah, been a little bit more conservative.
They backed themselves in, though.
Yeah.
Curious to see how things are going to work out for them, for both teams, as they begin reload. As we're kind of winding down for the day, actually. They would have been sitting around there. I wonder, as teams and as players, if you prefer to just play early, or if you sleep in, have the day, chill out, maybe watch the games. Sure.
Probably depends on which region you traveled from to an extent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, maybe for w7m, they'd just be itching ready to go. Would have preferred the morning game. They get their opportunity, though, against M80 now. So no Blackbeard, no Monty, so no shields in play for w7m this round at least. Zami, Kaid, they don't have to deal with that. And the Repel entry into Solar. Should, by the way, mention that is not Nua's. He's got 16 frags, but
okay,
not quite into this game as Loman will get the opening kill onto Hot and Cold. If any, we'll get the trade at least onto Dodes and shuts down the Ash. Did lose the goo mines though from Legion, so not ideal for M80 on the defense. And also not only that, but w7m starting to get some decent map control and putting pressure straight in towards the site. Volts has gone just straight for a look in towards Kitchen. Bulletproof camera is up, so probably doesn't feel all that safe to go for the plant. And despite it being watched, he's just walking through. This is super ballsy from Volves. Deals with it. No pressure whatsoever. And he can just go for the plant. M80, hello, you're watching him quite literally.
I can't hear him.
Someone going to actually deal with him. Indeed, finally, it's Diffuser who does eventually peek from above and gets the kill onto Volves. And they did find another kill as well elsewhere, the Nitro Cell.
Changing mags.
Yeah, w7m with good early pressure, but M80 not panicking, retaining control up above, and doing so able to deny that first plant attempt. Palu with the follow-up. Loban to try and cover horizontally. Pressure from above. M80 unable to deny. Drop from Gunner immediately, and he finds the kill. So Loban now with the 1 versus 4. Good for 1. Narrowly misses the second. Diffuser already being touched, and Loban will not be able to get there in time. Go for the final kill, and M80 able to consolidate in that first round.
Yeah, strange round. You know what it kind of reminds me of is the SSG G2 game where we saw the Nook just going to rush into sight, get the free kill onto Uno, I think it was Benja, and then they ended up losing that round anyway. Pretty similar situation with Volps just kind of literally walking into sight, deals with the BPC, and then eventually lost his life to the vert above, but he almost got that kit down initially, and it was kind of given over to w7m to walk in. A little bit of a bait because he's got the vert up above anyway with Office and Bedroom. But in the end, I guess pretty well done from M80. And yeah, Kino getting that Nitro Cell onto Dots as well, certainly helping out. And yeah, I don't think this was ever a post-plant situation that w7m would ever going to be successful in. Good start for M80 though. Certainly didn't wilt under the pressure. Number 3 for Fabian. On the jersey. The coaches usually get a number.
I wonder what it represents.
Yeah, I think that for M80, you know, the addition of Fabian, it's going to be a big one, but there's always that talk about, you know, can use PSG Talon really as an example on the way he kind of coached that team, very aggressive in nature. Will that translate? Will that work a little bit better for M80? That's going to be the question. And the other question of it, maybe does he calm down a little bit in his older age?
I just had a look at his Wikipedia. He is 30 now, so he's pushing 40. Yeah, he's 1 foot in the grave.
The blitz employed here by Dart. Swift entry into games. He has stepped on a goo mine, but very no mind to it. Nitro Cell does not hit the mark, and Dart's continuing to push forward. Never dealing with that goo mine, and in the background, Volps is going for the plant over towards default. Kino's not going to be able to get over to Deny. The smoke, of course, was up as well. Diffuser has gone down, and this is looking like a very successful Swift round from w7m. Just a pretty much clean hit in towards games, get the plant down. Wasn't even at the half wall, was just in the smoke. You know, wondering if he can maybe go for the long arm of the law and reach and try and get this counter defuse. Wants to wait until he's got someone helping. On gold cannot help at all. Lost his life immediately. Nicely done from Dodez in the post plant outside. And that was a quick round from w7m. Good response.
Number 3 for Fabian. 3 hammers.
Maybe.
2 as a player, 1 as a coach.
Maybe.
I think I've unlocked it. The Easter egg.
If he wins another one, does he change his number to 4?
With this team, do you think they're going to lift the hammer?
No, I'm not.
That
is not an implication. No. Yeah, good round from w7m though, and I think just punishing M80's lack of awareness towards big window, and the push through that was the big one as well with the blitz.
Well, technical pause. We haven't had our rehost for this game yet, so we might get that out of the way now.
Did we have one in the previous one? I don't think so.
Maybe not.
I think we skipped one. I hope that doesn't mean it like converts over into this one. We get 2. Luckily though, not a rehost, so. Seems like we are getting back into things. That was probably the shortest tech pause you'll ever get, so be thankful. Yeah, it's a quick 1-1, but more importantly, if you want to put an emphasis, it's an early attacking round for w7m. So that's the big takeaway for me. Again, today it's been all about defense when it comes to Shalet, but for w7m, swift entry, good plant, good execution.
Yeah, they're definitely coming to premium.
I think it was Dots on the blitz that cleared all the way through Barstock, even with the goo mine.
5 seconds left.
Kind of at least pushing back M80 and not allowing them to have the space to be able to deny that plant. So really well executed by w7m.
Blitz in play for round number 3. So do we continue to see that pace amp up here from w7m?
Well, and this is the thing as well. After this round, then you can bring a ban back in. So for M80, you know, it's kind of like, okay, well, we've already banned out 2 shields. If the blitz is giving us issues, do we then ban out the blitz as well? And go all in on that. And the nature of the new ban system. And to be fair, on the flip side, I'm not too sure if there's much that w7m would look at and say, we want to take this away from M80. There's the blitz employed once again. Playing behind it is Loban. Goes for the wide swing over towards Kitchen Hallway. Tots has been so aggressive on this so far, just trying to take as much space as possible. And he's got so much good information in towards Dining as well. That can be played off, but no one there close by. And in fact, it's Dots that's copping a lot of heat right now. Gunner cooking inside of Dining, gets the pick. Stands up though, and here comes a little bit of help. He has been downed. Dodez looking for more. That's a good one. That will have to be taken out. Oh, that's a free kill up above. Almost. Diffuser still alive. And very fortunate, to be honest.
Yeah, single digits HP it would appear for Diffuser. Minute 30 on the clock, so at the halfway point, W7M have fought hard for limited map control. Bolts to go out. Dode's seemingly wanting to escort that Diffuser up through Solar and has good information to potentially make this play work. We'll need some assistance though from the rest of the team, of course, as they'll lurk into their execute positions. Hot and cold with a nice angle in towards that front balcony position and could potentially catch somebody off guard, but thinks better of it, maybe trying to catch timing elsewhere.
It's the first real slowdown moment really of this match. First 2 rounds, certainly with some pace behind it. So going with the switch onto the Solar side. The final vault as well available from Dodes as they look to team up and deal with this castle barricade. 40 seconds, looking to make entry. Dodes finds another one. He's got 6 inside of the opening 3 rounds. Now deep into sight, going for the plant. Again, good response from Tino with the Nitro Cell. He's found 2 of those so far throughout the early portion of this match, but the plant has been successful, and that's something that M80 and, more importantly, Fabian wouldn't be too happy with to see these plants down. But hey, if you're going to find the kills in response and deny them a good post-plant position, it's not the end of the world. Loban in towards Solar. Can he light them up? That's one. And almost to the second. Hot and cold holds on, and M80 will retake the lead 2-1. So it's 2 rounds. Oh, it's 3 rounds now the plant has gone down successfully, but 2 counter diffusers. Certainly a little bit of a concern, and of course now with the 3 rounds played out, we head into the ban phase behind the scenes, and I do wonder surely that blitz will get banned out because it's been the most prevalent side of the attack for W7M.
Yeah, a bit of an intriguing round there. I'm still not entirely sure if it was a conscious decision from M80 to allow the plant to go down, play retake, or if they simply didn't hear it or didn't feel comfortable reacting, because we saw them very static once that plant went down. We saw the BPC immediately slapped and then the diffuser went on the ground. I would have thought they'd be within range to hear it. As we look back at that previous round, a lot of action down below initially. The Blitz trying to fight hard for control. Dodes with a nice clean 1-tap to get entry, and then that plant went down. Gav and Kino caught over towards Closet. Logan did his best as his 2 teammates fell in the post, but Hot and cold with clean trade, and M80 evidently pretty pleased with that result.
Well, we've had the bans come through, and the Blitz remains available for Dot, but the Capitao no longer available for W7M. Ella also has been banned out, so curious about that. And I guess that removes some dump potential for the ADSs onto the Jaeger in terms of clearing out them.
Yeah, we'll bolster the catch
10 seconds remaining.
So can certainly lock down a stronger position for M80 defensively. 2-1 lead.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb.
And again, I think the pass mark for W7M is 2 rounds probably all they really need. Maybe for a team of their caliber, they'd be maybe not too happy with that, but it's just the nature of what we've seen from Shalet today. Gunner with a peek outside of Piano, went a little early on the spray, and Palu's able to avoid losing his life. Maybe a little bit of patience necessary there for Gunner.
A big spotlight on Palu for this event, joining the team, and I'm sure he'll be under the microscope a little bit this particular event.
We heard that it didn't necessarily want to leave Team Liquid. This is the way that it's panned out, and all things considered, he's joined obviously a very strong roster.
Loading new man.
But as you said, after SI, maybe a case of just retooling a little bit. Had a very, very good 2024.
Airdrop in place.
So far today, though, North America undefeated. M80 looking to continue that. Just start so far on the defense. 7M maybe wanting to be a little bit more cautious here. Now we go basement. Need to clear out a lot. And so far, there's only really 2 players playing a little bit more of that first floor lurk in Gaveni and Gunner. In fact, Gaveni up to top floor now, pushing Solar side, and I imagine he's going to bring his way all the way across and look to try and catch W7 off guard. And he very well may work. If he makes his way over towards the Mez, peeks down, and they're not ready for it, he should get a free kill.
Yeah, late flank. Where are those air jabs been placed though from Palu? Surely can deny
Logic
this.
bomb though. Well, to be fair, Gavini hasn't made his way all the way to the mezzanine. Not sure if this has been heard. And looking for another plant. This has been the one downside for M80. They have allowed these kits to go down, and again, uncontested. This has happened too many times now. It's becoming a trend, and so much so, this time at least W7M not only get the kit down, but they find the kills to go with it. Absolutely just clearing their path forward in towards the basement. The flank didn't work, nothing worked for M80 that round. And again, clinical for W7M, so much so they brought the techno music out as well. The party has begun maybe a little bit prematurely. 2-2 is the scoreline.
Yeah, concerning for M80 when you have the likes of a Maestro, Goyo, and Warden set up, and you're allowing a plant to go down, at least largely what we saw towards the tail end, pretty uncontested and unsighted. That's quite concerning because you should have one of those pieces of the puzzle directed on towards that default plant position, whether it be the Warden contesting it in the face of utility, or the Maestro having line of sight, or the Goyo stalling out with canisters. We didn't seemingly see that be particularly impactful from M80 in that round. Unlike the previous round above, where they were able to quickly scramble and find those swift picks. Unfortunately, that time around, and arguably in a much more difficult position naturally on that main bridge, couldn't pull it off. And so with that, a 2-2 scoreline, and W7M reaching at least basically today.
Yeah, I mean, that's the good sign, right? It might be a 2-2 scoreline, which, again, the indication is that it's very much equal right now, but the two attacking rounds for W7M would be a concern for Fabian and for M80. And the biggest concern would be, and again, this is from probably a coach's perspective, is the fact that these plants just keep happening. That's probably the most concerning part of everything.
And in a very uncontested fashion.
Yeah, there needs to be more of a contest from M80 for W7M. This has just been far too easy.
I mean, credit though to W7M, right? It isn't completely on M80 allowing this to happen. W7M are finding these very specific positions and timings and making it work.
Just play outside right now at W7M and see whether or not M80 want to get aggressive at these windows. Volps does a bit of work with the shock drone inside of the building. Spots one, it's Gunner over the mez. He senses an opportunity, gets on the rappel. It feels like to me, I mean, again, it's a 2-2 scoreline, but W7M's attack, they're setting the pace and the tone right now. They've got the control. M80 have been able to get 2 rounds, and a lot of that has been off the back of those quick plants. They can sometimes find the kills quick enough to be able to re-establish a good position in the post plant.
Target located.
This is the concern. If W7M get the earlier kills in the rounds, then the actual on-site execution has been perfect. Well, that's going to make it even harder for M80. And now they have to do it without Gunner. He was spotted earlier at the mezzanine, eventually has been targeted and taken out. 1-5 start for Gunner. Not ideal. W7M, once again, seemingly in control here in the 5th round.
Yeah, certainly an unconventional performance from a player that we know can be one of the very best inside of the server. So no doubt he'll be frustrated and looking to refocus. 60 seconds then on the clock. W7M advantage, and we know they love going for these plants. Dode's able to double down.
Beautiful from Dodes.
And another.
Diffuser will fall. W7M are about to take a 3rd attacking round here on Shalet as Gavini just caught absolutely blindsided shot in the back and hot and cold. The only one that remains now for M80. Flawless in the end, and I'm not too sure Fabian's going to be happy with the way this half has played out. For a map that's been incredibly defender-sided today, they've given up 3 attacking rounds to W7M. One more round in the half. It must get to 3-3 for M80. Absolutely at a minimum.
I've got the popcorn ready in the microwave for that Fabian attack timeout. That's going to be content.
No need for attack timeout right now.
No.
It's still early days, still first half, still good opportunity to at least get a 3rd on the board and then see how your own attack half goes next up. But ultimately, for M80, it's... Yeah, I mean, you've got the 2 rounds, but it's just the nature of which the game has been playing on the terms of W7M. Like, we haven't seen a resounding dominant round from M80. They've won a couple of rounds, but off the back of it being a little bit touch and go. Whereas w7m have won probably 2 of their 3 rounds quite dominant fashion. So that's the concern. Double catch denial as well. Well, my combination, again, with no capital, does mean that they can certainly fortify some positions.
Yeah, I presume they're going to go for
Attackers are heading out to use a bomb.
pillar / top library cross here. They also have the mirror in support to make that push either from the double window above on the front balk or library itself very challenging. I think this is a setup that got popularized. May have been in Boston or even a little bit before that. It can be rather effective. And, typically, you're trying to go Capital because of the Jaeger change. That's a challenge, and Capital evidently banned out anyway. This would be a nice challenge for w7m to try and overcome. It looks like they're also playing the wrap position in the corner diffuser on the Jaeger, so honestly, I think the most optimal strategy for w7m may be leaning more into the horizontal, maybe a lurk down below as well, trying to gain control and force M80 back in that regard, because taking on that setup above, I don't really know if it's going to be the calculated play. You'd have to play it absolutely perfectly. And they don't have actually a ton of throwable utility to deal with it, especially not explosives. Again, Capital banned out.
I think as well for Palu, coming into this roster, he doesn't have to do really a whole lot. He can kind of just slot in, play his role. He doesn't have to be the one to be a star. And the core 4 from w7m have already shown they've got the capabilities to make grand finals, to be a top team and do some big things.
I mean, going back to the point of clearing this, it looks like w7m are eager to. Dodes needs to get value from those shock drones and clearing at least one, preferably both of these mirror windows. Oh, there's one.
Yep, one does get popped. You can hear that in the background.
I don't know which one.
Still good presence over towards the mezzanine for M80. Got Gaveni there as well.
Oh, there you go.
And there you go. He elects to just hold this position. In fact, all 3 can actually play off each other. I love the positioning for M80. This is going to be very difficult for w7m to clear this cleanly. Even if they can maybe get 1 or 2, I imagine they would lose a couple the other way around. Todes has lost his life. There is that trade. Oh, hello. Diffuser gets caught in the hallway. Gunner falls as well. That's a swift 3K for w7m. Even though they lost the opening duel, M80 got the opening kill. It's 3 in quick succession for w7m. Really good pinch to clear up above, and that's just double stacking towards bar. Kino just caught in the backside as well. I think he sensed all the pressure was up above, but no, Palu, he was actually playing away from the rest of the team. Gets them completely caught off guard, especially Kino. And that's a wonderful attack from w7m, really well orchestrated. And they get 4 attacking rounds on Shalet, bucking the trend of what we've seen today.
Yeah, I thought that top floor was going to offer a little bit more resistance for the defense. w7m, though, clearing one of those mirror windows. Rest of the team then able to time their run accordingly. Doing a good job there to overwhelm a defensive hold. And by far and away, the most successful attacking half on Shalet we have seen so far here on the A stream. Been a decent amount of data at this point with how frequently the map has been played, and w7m will be rather confident heading into the second half. As we saw those bans play out, to reiterate, it was the Azami Kaid followed by the Monty and Blitz. So heavy emphasis on shields once again. How's your Portuguese? Have you been practicing since last time?
No. I think it's still one word, which is obrigado, or obrigado, whichever variation you want to use. But yeah, 4-2 lead for w7. Now I can't help but feel like this could be really ugly for M80. And I also wonder, when does Fabian pull the trigger in terms of a tactical timeout and gives them a bit of a spell, because... And it might be after this round, because you get to 2-5 and you're letting that scoreboard start to blow out. Maybe you trust them enough here to begin the second half and say, okay, you make it 3-4, at least it keeps it close.
If we do see that, what kind of Fabian are we anticipating?
Yeah,
Is it going to be the
it is day 1, and you are playing w7m, so you might be a little bit contained. But remains to be seen, but that is an early kill for Dots onto Gunner, and not the way you want to start your attacking half if you are M80, now without the Lion, and Gunner can just not get inside of the server right now.
Yeah, key player. W7m finding.
Yeah, and the other part of all of this as well, you know, for M80, an organization, a team that typically has come under some pressure, and when you kind of look at Wildcard won today, SSG won today, Dark Zero won today, and it's like, well, for M80, if they're a little bit behind the eight ball, and you've got Shopify Rebellion as well waiting in the wings, is this a team that's going to miss out on majors and SIs? I'm going super early. They're playing W7M, but it's more so referencing the fact that North America is looking really, really strong, so it's not going to be as simple as just walk in, claim a qual spot.
Reloading.
You'd hate to be the one team that is the one to lose.
Exactly.
Today. Even if the impact is minimal in terms of the context of the event and the year, of course, it is just one DO1, but it's all about putting your best foot forward here at Reload for the 25-26 campaign. As we hone in now to round number 7. And the Yokais and the Echo of Dodez gaining some decent information toward that dining hall position. Elsewhere, Diffuser looking to lurk on the Deimos, has 3 available defenders to ping out. Stalled out though, however, by this gas canister from Loban. Looking to maybe double down with Hot and Cold on the Blackbeard. Harley finding himself in an aggressive position, spotted out, forced back, makes the right call. Walking into that cross though is the attack. Oh, good stun.
Yeah, that is really well orchestrated by W7M.
And it just allowed Volps to just creep forward a little bit in library.
Well, 2 spotted as well. Volps can call this out to the rest of his team. He needs a little bit of help, a little bit of backup, but no one close by to really help and get a trade. He's caught on an island. Dying on that island. 50 seconds left. Still the advantage with W7M, but M80's not going to go down without a fight. This Hot and Cold makes an entry in through office. You get to that half wall. There is presence. Double stack into the office side of things for W7M, but Kino finds a kill onto Dodez and keeps this round alive. The Echo taken off the board. It's a big pick. Don't have to deal with the drone. And under 30 seconds remaining. They're making something happen. Diffuser in a 1 versus 2. Did lose 2 players though in quick succession. Dots and Palu. Can they get the revive onto Hot and Cold through Diffuser? Absolutely not. They were never going to allow that one to happen. Swift denial, a swift round win, and W7M 5-2 up. And I have got my eyes glued on the second monitor to see if we get that tactical timeout. Surely this is where you pull the trigger if you're Fabian. You really cannot allow 6-2 to happen. And as we keep counting down, it doesn't seem like we're going to get a Fabian crash out. No timeout called. Snow Wine coming up for this next round. And W7M, oh, they're in cruise control.
Yeah, they're chilling.
They are absolutely chilling right now. Yeah, Palu's slotting in very nicely, 5-2, but the team itself is just gelling. Everything in the first half that they wanted to do, they were able to do. Get the plants down, had full control. Really made it difficult for M80 on their own defense, and yeah, good way to start the second half as well for W7M on their own defense now as well.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable to reflect on the rounds thus far and the fact that M80 have only garnered the 2.
10 seconds remaining.
Both of those were rather low percentage plays in the
5 seconds to go.
particular situations that played out. Really did not expect it to be this one-sided towards W7M at this point in time, but still an opportunity for M80 to activate on attack here. As we go down to basement for 8th round. Bit of an intriguing lineup. The Carly in play. Perhaps indicative that we'll see aggression towards the rear, although currently Kino posted up Maybreach Snowmobile. Make easy work of the breaches though, with no denial in play here from defense. Much more relying on denying space and gaining information with the likes of Smoke and the Legion, for instance. They've also been playing really well with info. We saw in the prior round the Echo be impactful. And it is an Echo this time around, but it is an exchange onto the Valk. And with no IQ in play, M80 dealing with that may prove to be a challenge.
I mean, I've got as far to say this has to be a must-win round for M80. Just keep that scoreboard ticking over. It's been halted since the 3rd round.
Boy, I mean, look how many players from W7M are just looking to pounce here.
Smelling blood in the water. North America so far today has been a region that has seen resounding success, but it may close the day out with a loss courtesy of M80. Again, coming into this matchup, I always felt that w7m should have been the favored team of the two, and so much so I was a little bit surprised that M80 did bet the 2 bullets. I wonder whose decision that really ultimately falls on. Is that a coach decision, full team decision?
I'd say it's probably a team discussion, but then comes down to coach/IGL.
Yep. Only 3 drones remaining, by the way, in this round for M80. I mean, there's over a minute remaining, so they're going to have a lack of information.
Air job ready to knock them out.
Try harder!
Oh, Kino. He's certainly been trying.
Breaching sequence activated.
Let's get the kill onto Dot, so no gas babe to stall out. Has an opportunity. Volts is going to fall elsewhere as well. Almost found one onto Parlo inside of blue. Doesn't matter. Hot and cold, getting busy. And M80 might be on the verge of capturing an attacking round. And with Kino putting some good work in on the w7m, they have been able to overwhelm this defense of w7m. For the first time in a while, finally get themselves on the board, and that's a relief for Fabian.
Yeah, a relief for the whole roster, to be fair. They've been looking to try and grind out these rounds for a little while now, and finally able to connect the dots there on basement. Good shutdown in the end. And in fact, after that round, M80 and Fabian have called their attack. So hopefully we get a listen in. I'm eagerly waiting to hear that voice. Here we go.
Eu senti que ambos eles tiveram information play. They're playing both Valkyrie, they're playing Echo, and again, as I said, Fenrir. If we have the Twitch, bring the IQ, because they are playing off information and playing aggro. They couldn't do it on basement so much as they wanted to, but you saw it with the Echo drone. They were not letting go of space. They were not giving you an inch. Do a 3-2-1 when you execute for the first layer of the defenders. So when you're going for like mess or whatever, do a 3-2-1, go together. Yeah. They're gonna send more people to help, but the 3-2-1 will help you guys clear them out. So you're 5 versus 3 at most.
We can also start bringing Doke and then use the early Doke call to execute, like on their...
Do we want to do like our fast solar, like we did against Furia?
Fast solar.
Yeah. Like remember where we literally just repelled in with Blackbeard. And we just ran it down. Maybe after the Fenrir.
If it's Kitch or if it's Master?
Either
or
one.
either or.
Yeah. And we can just bring a Twitch and zap the Fenrir after solar. I can ID, hold on.
Let's just see what they're doing.
Save drones, boys. We had like no drones last time.
It's signing.
Yeah,
Right.
signing.
Fenrir again, yep, Fenrir. All signing.
If we do a solo, let me know, Matt. The reinforce standing backwards.
Some wonderful insight there from both Fabian and the team as well for M80. Well, it was Kino with a good entry on the w7m, ended up finding a second as well later on in that round. So definitely a big influence on the team today. 3-5 scoreline. Obviously,
Well, there were 2 key points that were reiterated that we as well brought up, right? The information gathering from w7m has been really effective, the Echo and or Valkyrie, and so in response they bring the IQ. And the second point is the drone economy was rather weak for M80 in that prior round, so something that has been noted by Fabian. We'll see how that plays out. We also heard towards the tail end that they're probably going to go for a set play with the Blackbeard aggro solar, so let's see how that impacts this round.
I love that, by the way. So important for not just us, but even for the viewers at home to get a little bit of insight into this round, that it's like, hey, they've kind of alluded that they want to do this sort of set play. Okay, Blackbeard, solo, go for a fast take. If that doesn't eventuate, we now know sort of at home that, but they didn't want the game to play out like this. They wanted to do something else, for example. Of course, things change, you know, an early pick here or there. Maybe game plans can certainly change mid-round that we won't be aware of in terms of the comms, but a really good little bit of insight. And yeah, I think as well for M80, if they can kind of just get through this round, make it 4-5, then it's a question of, okay, well, if that information is proving to be successful for w7m, then just ban out the Valkyrie going after this round, of course.
Here we go.
Well, the fast play has been successful, and Hot and Cold, though, absolutely shut down by Loban. They got the first part of that right. What happened to the 3-2-1?
Don't know if the timing was a bit off, maybe Ying popping a bit early. They do have some control now to maybe play off, a bit of pressure being applied.
Dual swing, Loban feeling a little bit aggressive here because he's sensing there's a stack. Oh, what a shot from Loban onto Kino. A swift adjustment with the shotgun. Too strong, too good. Job done from Loban. He has lost his life, but honestly, he's done more than enough in that position, considering how fast M80 have wanted to play in this round, and they keep the pace going. 90 seconds left, 3 versus 3. Certainly a winnable round. Yellow ping information from above, but the shots are just a little bit astray. That would have been a crucial moment for M80 to find another kill there.
So despite hot and cold dying early on in the piece, the rest of the team finally does fall in line.
Long angle.
3 versus 3, 60 seconds.
Where are these EDDs as well? Oh, shot! Diffuser plays the long angle back the other way onto Dots and M80. Well, I'll tell you what, if they can win this round, it's back to 4-5 and doing something that we haven't seen today, these two teams, but being a little bit more attacker-sided on Shalet. Gavini gets rid of Palu, and hello, we've got ourselves a game now all of a sudden, just like that. From a 2-5 lead for w7m, M80 are starting to bring things back. It is a successful plant. Dode's known in terms of his position, and I cannot see a world in which he's going to pull off a 1v3 here. Post plant up above, no information down below.
Well, Dodes will go for it, but his effort will be futile at this point. Solid round from M80, capped off there by Gunnar holding the cross.
And you know what's interesting about that round as well, guys, is that the Blackbeard died immediately as soon as they got through into Closet. So a part of what they kind of wanted to do there did work, but then you lose the Blackbeard, then you lose another one. So that was a really well-orchestrated round for M80. And w7m, though, at least still got some good kind of punches in. But, well, in the end, the round goes the way of M80, 4-5, and we got ourselves a match here to close out the A-stream today. Ben's come through. Do we see the Valk taken off the board? No, we do not. It will be the Fenrir and the Twitch as well to follow, which, you know, we obviously heard Farley kind of talking about the Twitch and the IQ, and in the end, that's something that they're not going to have now, the Twitch itself, to help them on their attacks.
Yeah, I can only assume now that w7m are going to lean pretty heavily into Mirror. And I mean, spoiler alert, we can see it on the second monitor already, but yeah, that will certainly be the case. And on a site like Bar specifically, I like that approach from w7m. They're probably going to go for the double setup that we saw last time.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
This objective coming to matter, one facing towards library, the second from box facing the exterior. We yet to see them actually deploy, but I assume that will be the case. So cracking that open on the top floor from M80's perspective is going to be rather challenging. Capital, at least this time around, is available, unlike back in the first half.
5 seconds to go.
Well, they piqued my interest at 2-5, not going to lie. Started to lose a little bit of hope for M80. Felt like it was just the sort of game that was playing out storyline-wise. It's like, okay, maybe we've seen this before. w7m, they're at home, M80, a couple of changes. It's not quite going their way. A bit of a poor defensive side. But resilience-wise, it's a really good sign for M80 that this has turned into a competitive game.
Breach charge deployed.
Find a third successive round, well then w7m might start sweating bullets a little bit. And sometimes you can just gain that momentum even on the attacking side. It's been a struggle for teams today on this map, but when you get into the groove and everyone's kind of all in tune, you can really just snowball some rounds.
Selma.
And this is probably what M80 needed. You can lose this match like 7-4, 7-5, and I don't think they'll lose much love. But if they had lost, say, 7-2 and got totally dominated, then there's some question marks. But this is already at least some good signs for them. For w7m, just got to find their way back into things and maybe find a little bit more aggressiveness on the defense. It feels like they're really sitting back quite a lot and giving M80 a lot of time and space to do what they want to do.
Try to witness the punch.
Loading dart.
Oh, that's the shoulder that was peeking out.
Loading glass.
Flames to follow. Gunnar gets the first.
This is, yeah, I need to see W7M just find a little bit more aggressiveness. They're just barely shooting back. Loban, I'm not too sure if his position is known. Logic Bomb, though, of course, ringing out. Dot's taken low towards Games, and Diffuser going for the lurk down through the hallway. Shot in the back is Palu, and M80 have suddenly found a new gear. They've switched it up, and they're about to make it 5-5. It will be 3 consecutive attacking rounds in a row. Volt spotted over towards the mezzanine. His position will be now known, called out around the map, and it's about to be flawless. The mental fortitude for this roster on full display if you are M80. Down 2-5, now 5-5. And a little fist bump there, a little happiness from Fabian. And that probably is no greater feeling as a coach when your team is down, you attack timeout, and then, hey, bang, 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 couple of rounds in a row. It was a 4-round win streak for W7M as they got out to that 5-2 lead. Since then, 3 in a row.
O outro que eu modificaria, na cozinha avançada, em vez de fazer aquela adaptação que você queria, eu queria fazer uma coisa meio alien, mano. Botar um cara na escada do Matoê, com 3 Jäger, deixar ele preso lá, pra evitar essa escolha deles pra lá, e vai surpreender, porque ninguém faz isso mais, tá ligado? Eles dão um monte de recurso pra lá, e deixa o... eu vou deixar fixo o troféu jogar. Então, mas se você conseguir jogar você lá dentro da escada de warding, fazer C4 janela, nos caras gastando recurso, e aí atençãozinha, vai na G2, pune um drone, faz alguma coisa mais assim, tá ligado?
O Palu tem que jogar mais próximo do bomb daí.
A questão da Switch é mais postura do que tudo, tá, guys? Joga aonde vocês forem e joga.
Deixa eu falar, Switch, Forte Bíblia, o Palu pega a multi-ru da cozinha, tá? Reforça os dois da cozinha lá. Só coloca a Jimmer no Matue, por favor, tá?
I don't think we do our normal default library clear. I think we do like a more like get one guy into games, and then like we do like a heavy library like hop in. I can flash.
But unfortunately, it's not great. I thought that Norris though looked pretty calm. I didn't think that he seemed like he was, you know, totally losing it at his team or anything like that. And unfortunately, we're going to be getting a rehost coming out of this timeout as well. We've seen a lot of fanning down today. Doki wiping his sweat before, and
yeah, it's heating up.
It is. It's quite hot in the kitchen. It's quite hot in this match. 5-5. Who's going to get this match point to follow? Unfortunately, again, rehost is coming our way, so we do actually get a little bit of time to sort of dissect our feelings on how this match has played out and our thoughts moving forward. But M80 have all the momentum. That's the key storyline moving forward now. But does that momentum get just squandered a little bit with this rehost?
Yeah, I suppose to some extent. But provided M80 remain focused, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for them.
They're in the game. That's really all you can ask for, right? Like, you're down 2-5, and mentally that's always a little bit tricky to feel like, can we get back into this? Because it's going to take effort that we have to now actually pour out. Look at Fabian. He's not just a coach. He's the fan man as well. But yeah, for W7M, this is where you can also almost overthink and feel like, well, they've won 3 rounds in a row. They've got all the momentum. Do we have to dramatically shift and change our philosophy? Or do you just kind of back yourselves in to get out of this little funk? I mean, all the credit goes to M80. And so far, it's been a really, really good match. I mean, again, admittedly, I don't think we've had a lot of rounds where both teams have played well in that same round.
Well, that's kind of crazy. And then I got told, don't do that.
Like, hey. Don't break the chair.
I mean, we're setting the stage for a really important round because you look at the history, right? Round number 7, so first of the half, Master Bedroom Office, W7M able to successfully win that side out. Then 3 on the trot. On the other 3 objectives, wine, kitchen, bar, respectively, we head back to Master for the match point, break point round. It's very significant. So I'm really intrigued to see how it plays out on this particular occasion. From memory, last time the Master defense from W7M was pretty strong. We saw Gunner fall in the piece really, really early at the 254 mark, and yeah, it wasn't particularly great sailing from that point on from M80. 10 players back inside of the server, so hopefully the action will resume in only a couple of moments' time. So bear with us.
I'm just looking at some of the numbers as well. And there's been 6 plants overall in this game out of 10 rounds.
That's unprecedented.
That is a very high rate, and that's from, of course, including both teams. It's been rough for Gunner, sure, but he's actually bringing it back now, and he's also been involved in the vast majority of the entry fights for M80. He's 3-3 in that, so I mean, at least half of the course. Loban 3-0, 126 EPS, has been easily the best player for w7m as we're moments away. Fist bumps give that away, that we're getting back into this. At 5-5, a tense moment here between these two teams. And for us, finally a match that's actually gone to at minimum 7-5 today. We actually have gone a little bit of that distance here in these best of ones. This one may even kind of go OT. I wouldn't be surprised at this point.
Potential.
Good way to close out day one here at Reload. And can M80 keep the good times rolling for North America today? And unfortunately,
looks like the pause will be extended a little bit longer.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be extended again as the bans were wrong.
Just building up the tension.
Yeah, I mean, just keeping that boiling pot going a little bit longer. Smiles from Norris in the background. And any kind of talk of momentum now, I think, for either side. I mean, 4 in a row from w7m, followed then by 4 in a row for M80, followed then by a double rehost, equals we are as even as you can possibly be at 5-5. Without a doubt. Both tack timeouts have been used as well. I mean, it's up to the players now.
As far as I understand, and it looks to be the case, they cannot communicate at this point in time during the technical pause, as is typically protocol. So really just left to stew in their own thoughts, for better or worse. Some smiles now from w7m. They looked quite serious before.
If you had to pick one from here,
I think it's an OT, and I don't know how to split them.
Okay.
Because we're going back to a site where w7m have had success, so they may be able to replicate that. Then we go back to one of the other sites that will open in the rotation, probably basement, I would assume. And with that M80 respond, we go OT. That would be my projection, but...
Well, I think that my biggest takeaway from this game so far was how dominant w7m looked, to then seemingly lose that dominance so quickly.
And we're seeing that initiated on attack. Which
Exactly.
is crazy, considering just how defenders started.
So, and this is the thing, because it's probably the easy answer is it's always a little bit of both in terms of like, well, what do you put that down to? M80 stepping up their game and bringing some more firepower on the attacking half and getting rounds on the board, or is that w7m maybe letting their grip on the game just kind of fall away a little bit and allowing M80 back into the game? So, which side of the coin do you feel that lands? The easy answer is a bit of both.
It's been so mixed, and I mean, a good example of that is like round 6, where M80 get the opening kill and don't convert, but we've also seen that round 9 in the second half as well from w7m. So they've both had those moments where they've been in the advantageous position in some of the earlier portions of the round on the defense, and they just haven't been able to close. So. But I mean, the biggest factor to also consider is just the frequency of plants. It's so high.
Yeah.
So much higher than you would typically expect, which I think makes the analysis, far more challenging.
And to be fair as well, the one round that actually w7m have won in this second half on the defense was probably the scrappiest of the rounds that we've had all game. So at no point really have they looked actually convincing on defense.
No.
But it doesn't take much. You get to 6-5 and then the pressure's straight back on to either side. Shouldn't be too much longer from getting back into this one, because I'm certainly eager. This is probably the match of the day so far on the A-Stream, actually, without a doubt. It really is, and keen to see how it is going to sort of unfold from here, because it really can go either way. You could easily make a case that w7m just closed it out, its defense 7-5, and you could also make a case that M80 just continue the good times and the rolling goes on, and they also closed it out 7-5, and then there's the OT. So I guess, who do you kind of put this down to now for either side to sort of step up? Because, I mean, Loban's obviously performing very, very well. Dodez has been all right. Palu's slotted in very nicely. Do you try and get more out of a Volps? Do you say, okay, on defense here, does Volps go and play a little bit more aggressively? Do W7M as a team try and play a little bit more aggressively on defense? Because it's been a lot of sit back and hold side. You're allowing the M80 to get into really good power positions on the attack, and I think that's why they've been so successful as we get back in underway. 5-5 to scoreline. Third time's the charm.
It is wrong again. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Aloe should be available. It should be the Fenrir band.
Never mind. Third time's not the champ. Not the champ. Oh, no. This match was going so well. I was getting into it, and now it's like all of the heat has just been zapped out.
We're copying it like the B stream did in the first match.
Oh, no. They got on the first match of the day. We get on the last.
Yeah, we get on the last.
I think that's quite fair. It's 1-1, whatever. But the difference is this is a match that's 5-5. It's tense, or at least it was, and now all that tension just feels like it's evaporated into thin air.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I wouldn't want to be in a player's position right now. Although, like, this is the thing, because you kind of want to lock in, but then at the same time, throughout these rehosts, you do need to be a little bit fun with it. And I think we were saying that a little bit before from the M80 guys.
Their vibe definitely at the 5-5 scoreline looked a lot better than W7M.
Oh,
But I almost
absolutely.
feel like W7M have loosened up as this tech pause has dragged on. It's probably served them well in terms of the mental reset, to be honest. Still not entirely sure if they can communicate. I feel like I have seen them talk a little bit more recently, so maybe they lifted it just considering how many back-to-back pauses there's been at this point. Not too sure though.
And then this is the part where, you know, for these guys, once you're actually in the server, and the bans are done correctly, then you gotta refocus like almost immediately and get yourself back into that mindset that this is a close match, that we can't make this, like we have to be clinical. And that's very difficult to do. It just the flip of a switch, like just especially it's been like what, a solid 10, 15 minutes. I mean, I've lost track of time, to be honest.
I wouldn't have a clue.
To be fair, I didn't actually know what the time was when we kind of had the first rehost, so.
We've got 8 players in the server, so not too far off.
Just need to triple check those bans, please.
It's definitely not Ella, guys. Hot and Cold looks as relaxed as always, though, I tell you what. That man is chilling out. As the desk put it, arguably the best IGL out of NA at the moment, and will be put to the test for these last few rounds.
Well, we've got Fox here. He's just kind of chilling out, waiting for the end of this game. I kind of want to know his thoughts here. Did M80 get the job done?
You can grab the headset and see if it works.
I don't think,
we have no
it
idea
works,
if it does.
though. When we did our test at the start of the day, it wasn't working. You can chuck it on.
Hello?
Well, we can hear you.
You guys can hear me on the stream?
I don't know if we can hear you on the stream, though.
Well, maybe they'll be able to hear me. I can kind of hear myself through my own headset, so I think so. I do think after that timeout that Fabian took, I do think M80 have the potential to bring it back, especially when there's a rehost. The rehost usually ices the team that's kind of in the lead. So it gives an advantage to the other team that's bringing that comeback back.
But what about the team that just won 4 rounds in a row and then into a triple rehost and a big delay? Does that just not completely evaporate all momentum?
It does to a certain extent, but it can go both ways. It really depends on the mental of the team, especially when you're making that hard of a comeback. You are sitting in the moment talking to each other, getting yourselves hype. Oh my God, we just won 4 rounds. Like, we can make it 5. Let's strategize. But if you're W7M on the other hand, you're sitting there, wow, look at all the rounds we lost. It's not looking too hot.
Who's going to win it from here as we're moments away from getting back in, Fox, and we'll let you go. But who have you got from here?
I don't want to leak anything. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Oh, he's seen the script.
Oh, he's seen the script.
Shit.
That's a good sign if you're M80.
He's tight-lipped.
I think he's seen the script. Maybe that might just be because it's.
Why did they ban the Ella again? What are we doing, guys? Come on. You can come back on, Fox. Oh,
maybe we'll get Lax on this time for the 4-3 host. They love this. And the admins absolutely hate Ella. They're just like, we're gonna keep banning Ella.
Maybe they are picking it and it's glitchy or something, I'm not too sure.
I think the players are gonna crash out now.
Have you guys had dinner yet? Do you know what's for dinner?
We're gonna get Lax on the mic this time. Lax.
Can I? Yeah. Okay.
How was dinner, Lax? Was it good?
I need it. I went to the bathroom and then had to get back.
Can you
here
put the?
to wash
You can put it
Have you
on.
ever used a
Get the
microphone
mic
before?
What?
Have you ever used the microphone before?
Yeah, literally in Boston. I mean, look, a lot of events we have, but I got this on. I don't really feel like taking this off.
True.
Yeah, but I'm saying put it closer.
But I can hear myself, so I'm just getting louder. The
It's not
closer
for
I
you to
get.
hear. It's for everyone else to
Well,
hear.
I understand that, but like it's beaming in my
Analyst.
ear.
Oh, analyst.
Okay, give it a rest. But yeah, I mean, I agree with what Fox was saying. He kind of stole what I said because I was that rehost, well, that call from the coach for the timeout definitely put a little pep in M80's step to bring it back. But I mean, I think being iced out by the rehost is definitely going to affect not just one team but both teams. You're both sitting here, you're both strategizing, and then at the end you can't actually execute anything yet because you got to keep waiting to start. So I think both teams are in the exact same scenario, but best case is they're both equal with each other right now.
I want to ask you, because we were theorizing a little bit before, I think maybe 20 minutes ago on the first rehost, was regarding the fact that it was a 2-5 lead for W7M.
Right.
M80 going onto the attack. It seemed to me, at least after the many Shalet games we've seen today, that it was going to be a bit difficult for M80. Are you a little bit surprised that they were able to kind of bring it back the way they did?
Yeah, and like I said, I think that timeout was really the defining moment for them to truly realize where things were going wrong. You even heard in those comms, they were talking about bring the IQ, get rid of the information. That's how they were playing aggressive. And then I think Hot and Cold was saying, or maybe it was Gunner saying, let's bring the Dokkaebi so we can use that to cut down some drone time. We can get that information quickly and we can execute. And almost immediately into that next round, we saw exactly what they were saying from that timeout, and they have just been playing phenomenally since. But again, obviously the rehosts, it sucks on both sides. It sucks for everyone at the end of the day. I think it does benefit W7M a little better, because now they can kind of think where things have been going wrong. They can think a little longer, long term, than what M80 can.
I have a little prediction. Fox here.
Yeah, just get the mic a little bit closer this time so we can hear every breath.
ASMR.
I like that you had to.
I was moving it away.
You had to say who was speaking.
Yeah, Fox is
know.
back. But essentially, my prediction is when a game goes on this long, especially with the tactical timeouts that have been happening, whoever wins this next round, I believe wins the rest of the game due to mentality. So it's all on here.
That is an amazing analysis.
Let me tell you something. The real winners here are us, the viewers.
I think we've got the bands correct. Thank you, Milosh, though, but we're not going to have
I got you, buddy.
We're not gonna have, you can put the mic away now. I think we're getting into the game.
Okay.
Who do you think's going to win?
Us, the viewers.
Oh, the viewers.
Hell yeah.
So OT.
Leave it be. Let him work. Let him work.
Bugger off. We finally got the game. The bands are correct. It's 5-5, and well, look. Any talk of momentum, absolutely. Zach's for either team. It's as reset as it possibly can be at 5-5. And look, I do kind of agree with the sentiment from the fellas. It's like whoever wins this particular 11th round takes such a big lead going into that next one. OT guaranteed off the back of the break to come out, win this round. It's a huge one
10 seconds
coming
left.
out. And I love the fact that we actually get the Ella in the server too. How about that? Just for added theater.
Attackers are heading out to the
After the admins tried to ban it away 3 times, Dots is like, I'm playing Ella.
Maybe just do it
Maybe
to
it's a
make
sign.
a point, yeah.
Alrighty, M80, of course, will recap a little bit because W7M won 4 rounds in a row to get a 5-2 lead, and then following that, timeout worked perfectly for M80 as they then followed up with 4 rounds themselves. Actually, I should refrain 3 rounds. Maybe it might be.
Well, again,
rounds.
as previously mentioned, we're going back towards one objective that W7M was successful back on round 7 to open up the half. So, if they're able to replicate that success and our theory is correct, then maybe able to walk home with this one, which would really sting, I think, for M80 who have put up a good fight to try and bring this one back. Let's see how they deal with that information, though. Again, the Echo is in play. M80 not electing to bring the IQ this time around, which was something mentioned in a previous TAC timeout.
You certainly don't want to be the opening death here either. You've been sitting around doing not a whole lot for a while. And it is going to be Palu. That is the opening death as Diffuser picks up the first kill for M80. Good start on the attack. ROU has gone out from hot and cold, and Gaveni's going to make it another one for M80. They get themselves a 2-killed lead. Ping information onto Dots as well. All the pressure is right onto W7M. And Gunner, he also gets in on the action. A quick 3K to start the round for M80. And they've got themselves a 5 versus 2 lead. And then very much looking likely to take that 6-5 lead. Unless Dots and Dodez can pull this round back, it's shaping up to be a 4th consecutive round for M80 and a huge comeback from a 5-2 deficit to take a 6-5 lead. Really just highlighting the day that it has been for North America.
All about consolidation now for M80.
Just close it out, get the job done.
Yep. And the Deimos as well can trap one player, so it's effectively a 5-1.
Here's what mine thrown out towards that solid doorway in towards bathroom. Dots makes the cross, but only into death. Gunner shuts him down. M80 have got themselves match point after a 5-2 deficit. 4 rounds won consecutively. Puts them into pole position to take down W7M on their home turf.
Unless Fox is wrong, and then...
No, Fox is right.
He's not often wrong, to be fair. He's one of the best in the biz.
One of? Who's the who else would be better than Fox?
The man standing right next to him.
Milosh.
No. The other one.
6-5 lead for M80. Can they close it out, or do we get overtime for the first time on the A stream today? Have we had any overtimes? No, none. None on the B stream. Had some big results on the B stream.
Attackers have located a bomb.
This could be our first OT. And now for W7M, you know, internally, it's like, where's this win going to come from? Because they haven't actually won since the 7th round, which feels like a lifetime ago now. And you kind of get caught in 2 minds. Do you try and go aggressive here? Because we've lost 4 rounds in a row. Instinctively, then you kind of go to think, well, let's try and make something happen, right? Let's be the ones to go out and be aggressive, go for an early pick, maybe a spawn pick, get something that can get us, you know, an advantage early in the round for us to build off, because you don't want to go into your shell now. You've already lost 4 rounds in a row. M80 are fit firing, flawless in the last round as well. Then you overextend, and because you get aggressive, you actually open up your defense a little bit. So you get caught in 2 minds.
I mean, based on the lineup and position, I think they're going to play pretty.
I think it's going to be a full round, yeah.
The last time we saw Bar, it was very much the
onside
Jaeger, the mirror, lockdown turtle, try and hold above. This time around, though, very much across the map, playing far more open, looking to probably find success, especially with that opening duel as well, which has hindered them significantly.
Oh, this is it for W7M. You lose this round, and 2 bullets gone. North America undefeated for day 1. Oh, Nate forces Loban back towards trophy stairs, but with his life intact, no damage done.
Well, no one was playing the cutoff, so he can just kind of chill.
I would imagine
he's a chill guy.
Where you got to just find a way to hunt down these roamers. OT secured, but it's been a long match now. You probably want to get this one done and dusted. Loban.
Cut off this time.
He's very much aware of this cutoff though. And he hits the headshot onto Kino. That's a wonderful control. And that is the opening kill to the round that W7M absolutely needed. 90 seconds left. Player advantage, no Kino available. And still good positions around the map. The map control for W7M here is honestly very solid. M80 are going to have to really think their way through this, and quickly.
Yeah, they don't have the luxury of time now. Only 70 seconds on the clock, and with the map still largely dirty, it's going to be tough, especially for the free roams to play as well. Gaining that information will be a challenge. Running into a cross currently over towards Piano.
So they're going to swing the hallway. Bob's thought about it. Eventually,
they don't know about this position at all.
Just backtracks a little bit deep inside of Alpha. Dodez should find his kill onto Hot and Cold, but no, loses the battle. But the war may still go the way of W7M. Haru thrown out from Hot and Cold, who stayed alive. Gumine stepped on by Gaveni. A lot of time remaining though, and they still need to get towards the site, which is absolutely packed now with defenders. M80 very well could be on the verge of overtime if they cannot find a way to get some quick kills. Information available up above as Hot and Cold. Another ROU goes out. Shield screen is up. BPC giving the information for W7M. That was the downfall for M80 earlier in this half. Dropping down. They've got nothing lost. Kit surely running out of time in this round. An opportunity starting to falter. And the pressure from w7m mounts him. We will get overtime for the first time at Reload. And Fox was wrong.
I reckon we should fire him from the desk with a call like that. Disgraceful.
Big round win for w7m. Absolutely needed that one because they had lost 4 rounds in a row after a 5-2 lead. At the very least, it goes to OT.
Well, we do now get to see how the overtime bans function as well. So for those unaware, it doesn't revert to what they were in their respective halves in regulation. So we don't have to endure. Oh, no, endure. We don't have to go through another ban phase.
But there's an Ella in there.
Oh no!
I've just seen an Ella.
Oh no! That is correct.
Oh, is that correct?
From the first half. Yeah.
Oh, it was the first half. Okay.
You're trolling.
Oh, okay. You can't blame me for panicking though after what we've just gone through.
That's why you write things down.
I actually have it written down as well, so I should have just looked.
I don't blame you for it.
Yeah. Oh, I panicked for a split second.
If we see it later, if we see it in the next round, then it's a concern.
M80 onto defense now, of course. w7m back onto the attack as we begin overtime for the first time at Reload. And yeah, okay. Crisis averted.
But the crisis is not averted for w7m at the moment. I mean, the momentum is well and truly against them. It's been a real challenge.
Well, you still think the momentum's with M80 coming into overtime?
Attackers are heading out to
I think so. I mean, it's been stalled out somewhat, and I suppose the switch of halves does complicate things. So. There has been an attacking Shalet, which has certainly not been the case for the rest of the day.
I mean, admittedly, you go back to that first half, and yeah, w7m were very clinical in their attacking rounds. And if you recall back, I think the biggest thing for me was the plants. So first half, 6 rounds played, 5 plants from w7m. And that's probably something that, again, I think Fabian will kind of look at and say, how do we kind of fix that? Well, that happened here in overtime as well. And the way that M80 were playing was certainly a little bit back, playing site, but at the same time allowing the plants to go down. I mean, even with vert positions, they still allow plants to go down. Looking back, actually, in this particular site, it was the kitchen dining just pushed through and just literally waltzing in towards site. I think it was Dots back in the early half. Slow approach right now from w7m, not looking to rush around the map. They have got a little bit of control on the library sidebar as well with Loben on the Deimos. Drones going through.
You see the view
just creeping up.
Problems. But main breach still up. Yet to be cleared. The impact Emps for the attack.
Pretty much full top floor hold at the moment for kitchen dining, except for Hot and Cold playing West Main. Flash goes out, gun up, that one. I think landing onto Diffuser very nicely inside of Office, and Dots may just get going in towards Office, pulls out the pistol, hits the headshot. Absolutely clean entry through Ego, and with that, w7m have got themselves a very strong advantage to start overtime. Pushing up towards Dots, it's Brazy, it almost works out, it does from Hot and Cold, but they lose another one, and he's by himself in a 1v4. w7m swift on their attack. May not quite be plant down. In fact, the kit was with Hot and Cold. Elects to drop, does get the knock, and down onto Lopen, and another one onto Palu. Makes it a 1 versus 2. Diffuser acquired through Dodes, and they're both here right in front of him. Left and right side covered for w7m. They've got themselves match point.
Clean work there from w7m on that top floor. Despite some complications with the breach, able to brute force it in other ways. Good clear, especially on the gunner, who was under a ton of pressure. Unable to effectively contest that blitz, and once we saw that position unlock, it made life very difficult for those remaining defenders. Hot and Cold are unable to pull off that clutch. Good split there in the end from the attack.
And this is the kind of round now moving forward for M80. I think, geez, we've actually played quite well. We had them on the ropes. That we, 6-5, 4 rounds in a row. We brought it back, all the momentum with us, and may it just end up being a case of so close yet so far. And you don't get, and this is the thing as well, it's not like, oh, we get 1 point.
Yeah, there's no charity.
There's no charity point. Doesn't matter if you win in regulation or in overtime, it's 2 bullets, it's 2 bullets. There's no 3-2-1 point system or anything akin to that. W7M go on to the defense. But of course, this is where M80 kind of made their comeback, right? In that second half on the attack. They closed out their final attacking round as well flawlessly. Well, not the final one, the final round win that they had on the attack.
Locate a bomb and defuse.
And W7M returning to familiar territory. We saw that round. On that round 12 clutch up to push OT. It was on Bar Gaming. Pardon me, so they're actually going to kitchen. So I'm scrambling myself here. That was back in round 9. M80 was successful on that attack. So
yeah, and I think that was the was that the round actually coming out of the no, that was the round 8 one where they actually went for that solo push. Either way, top floor breach being opened up rather quickly, and Kino towards Ego himself, basically controlling Office. Opens it up with the Selmas, then able to swing Ego door and gets an easy kill onto Loban. I mean, that's a good start to this overtime attacking round for M80. Do you need any more ADSs over here? Well, you're not going to get any because Loban is dead. But absolutely stacked. Over towards Trophy Stairs. Do they know about Palu, though? Little lurk over towards Fireplace. Could catch someone over towards that office side mezzanine position. Maybe trying to go through that breach towards half wall. Diffuser catches Dodes, though, and expecting the bar stock swing from Palu. Nicely done from Diffuser. And M80 are on the verge of pushing us all the way here and making it 7-7 to close out the final game of the A-Stream today. I mean, really good signs from M80, even if they don't close this out. W7M, I'm not too sure they're going to be ultimately all that happy with the way that this match has very much played out. When you take into consideration they had a 5-2 lead. And it's looking like we will indeed go 7-7. And all of it started really with Kino. Opens up Office Breach, then gets the swing kill. So as an individual player to be able to do that, get the kill onto Loban, you've done quite a lot there as an individual to begin the round. Everyone else can then sort of follow suit. Fuse with a nice double kill earlier. Dots now absolutely under pressure. The bees are buzzing on him. Does at least swing on that though. Makes contact with Gunner, wins the battle. Diffuser going down inside of Dining though. Courtesy of Hot and Cold. No denial to come through. Bob's losing his life, and all by himself now is Dots. Stuck over towards West Main. So a 15th round is required for these two teams. Dots, nice headshot. Not too sure how he gets himself out of this situation though, and wins this round for W7M. Expects one front entrance. He knows they're up above. He knows they're absolutely everywhere, surrounding his position on that kit. One more round is necessary between these two teams.
So once again, the bands will flip like the roles themselves, and M80 now with a key decision to make. What site do they try to defend? Finding success on defense has proven to be quite a challenge thus far, and it would appear that Bar Gaming will be locked in. For context, we saw M80 back in the first half of regulation defend Kitchen and Master, respectively, in rounds 1 and 3 successfully. I was attempted twice, and they lost out on both occasions. The second occasion of which they actually got the open kill with a minute to go in the round, and still didn't close. So.
We haven't given Bar Extend a good go. We got rushed.
I mean, this would be such a good win for really either side, considering the drawn-out nature of this match. You know, it's probably an energy-sapping kind of game.
Yeah, for sure.
So you really want to walk away with this win. If you walk away with this loss, you think, geez.
Especially with nothing.
That's a stinger. And I'm not sure what time either of these two teams are playing tomorrow, but, you know, it's the last game of the day. You've been kind of waiting all day. And I know it sounds a bit crazy, but kind of waiting around is actually quite tiring. You're kind of just sitting there not really doing a whole lot. Your energy reserves sort of drop a little bit. And this has been obviously a very, very long match. And then to lose it, you've got to deal with that mentally. Go into tomorrow, you have to quickly reset. So winning this round may just be for 2 bullets, but it could go a long way. And for M80, looking for the clean sweep for all 5 North American teams if they can win this round. Had 4 of the 5 on the A stream. It was Cloud9 that took down PSG Talent on the B stream earlier today.
Hot and Cold sitting close for the potential direct push, and I mean w7m potentially posturing for that. Certainly wait and see. Clutch drone above from Loban.
Yeah, good information as well found.
Take the default down, playing it for themselves. No mirror in play from defense for the double stack hold above. Instead bringing the castle, for instance, to switch things up a little bit and introduce some utility to play.
Well, opening kill is going to be so important. We've played 14 rounds, and so far, only 3 rounds as a team not gotten that opening kill and gone on to convert it to a round win, and it's going to be Kino that falls. And as I say that, yeah, it's now going to make it so much more difficult for M80. They don't have the Warden. Hot and Cold is very low. There needs to be a swift response. Otherwise, w7m may just grab victory from the jaws of defeat. Flashes go out, Logic Bomb as well, aggressive from Dots, and he does have the diffuser. Needs to win this battle, and indeed he does, against Hot and Cold, deep in towards Barstock. A ballsy play that does pay off. Gaveni with a quick double. No, it was Gunner that got one of them. Just like that, a chance again comes through. And while this match has gone the absolute distance, we haven't had a round such as this. 2 versus 2, still a minute remaining. You can pull the plug on this fast, aggressive play, w7m. You don't have to keep this pace going. So much time remains. And they may just call off ever so slightly. No, the entry was found. Gunner will fall head in hand and down a diffuser in a 1 versus 2. Library Stairs is 1, and he cannot win that battle against Loban. And look at what it means for w7m on home soil. Tested oh so mightily by M80. w7m get the job done. Hugs for all. What a close finish. Unfortunately for M80, they do lose all of the 2 bullets that they put on the table today. They get nothing from this match despite a strong showing. w7m take home all the marbles.
Yeah, certainly a hard-fought victory, able to scathe off that 4-round streak from M80, win round 12, push it to OT, get the job done.
Oh, beautiful performance for w7m and a way to kickstart Reload on home soil in an absolute banger. 8-7 win for them.
Welcome back, everybody. What a corker of a final match that we've had here. Game number 5 on Stream A, going the distance in overtime. And hey, it wasn't Dozen Ace that was catching it. We got Guz and Xenox that really took us so deep into this M80 W7 match. At the end of the day, w7m, they secure it. They get both bullets that were put in and back into their revolver.
Yeah, I mean, both teams were put to the test here. Both teams got put to their limit to really start out this event strong. I mean, there are good takeaways you can take from this game from both sides. I don't think either of them should be disappointed. Obviously, losing, it's not great, but that's what makes a team even better, is learning from those mistakes. And especially even when you win in this situation, there is a lot that you can take from. Both teams were making an ample amount of mistakes, but both teams were also capitalizing off said other team's mistakes. So all in all, it was a really good match, and especially for M80 to have that bounce back, coming back from that 2-5, that is even more important, especially bringing on the IGL and bringing Hot and Cold back into the swing of things.
100%. I mean, the amount of times that M80 had to dig themselves out of a hole, especially being down such an immense amount of round count, to bring them back, you have to be happy to a certain extent. Yes, a loss is a loss, but there's a lot to take away from. Same thing for w7m. Losing that amount of rounds is not something that you should be doing. We were talking about at the start of the game that they want to be able to close out rounds, close out the game. That is the biggest focus for both of these teams, to solidify themselves as a top team that's always making main stages, that's always being a threat to win these events.
And it just goes to show, for this being your first game, the sheer resilience both teams were putting on display, it's there.
Absolutely is. And actually, Paulo is one person that we mentioned in our pregame. Maria's standing by to have a chat with him.
We are back on Reload, and this time with the first overtime of the day in both streams, A and B. Well, it was a huge match for you guys. I just have to tell you that it's really funny because I'm used to interview him in Portuguese. Now we're gonna do this in English. But, well, what was the most challenging thing about facing M80?
They have like, it's a hard sometimes to play against them because they, after adding hot and cold, their playstyle is kind of, we didn't know how they're gonna play because M80 and Beast Coast, they used to have like, or Unwanted, they used to have like different playstyles, and he used to be their IGL. So we were not sure what they're going to do. We started really well at the match, I think. So yeah, we kind of lost ourselves between the defense. I think we were trying a few things that wasn't necessary, but yeah, we turned out we won, and that's it, you know.
Yeah, you were trying, and that's fine, because it's the first day. Do you take the first day also to really try new things, or you don't mind at all?
Of course, we want to start well. Everyone's want to start
and you did?
Yeah, a tournament winning. But yeah, of course, the first day is a day that you can try to build confidence. So I think it's the most important thing. Even if you lose, sometimes you do a great match, and it's the most important thing.
Also, did you have to change anything, like your role from Liquid to w7m, or they just let you do whatever you were doing, you know?
I entered to feel kind of Dash's role, of course, bringing my own playstyle, and of course, like I'm changing a few things because they play sometimes really fast. Their pace is really different from Liquid, so yeah, of course, I am adapting a little bit. But the guys are like really awesome with it, always giving like tips or some things I can improve, and yeah, that's it.
That's cool. And I cannot finish this interview without mentioning one thing. Nesk, that it was like your soulmate, your best friend from Liquid, and have you found someone to fill that blank space now in w7m?
It's hard to say, but like maybe Dots, he's like I'm playing Super 2, so I'm kind of playing sometimes as a duo with him on the bomb side or on some sides of the map. But yeah, it's been amazing with everyone. Like from the beginning, they were really welcoming and, how can I say in English, like warming, you know?
Warmful, welcome, yeah.
So yeah, it was been really easy to adapt, and they are like helping me a lot with it.
That's cool, congrats. And that's it, the ending of the show, but we still have draft show, so keep your eye open.
Thank you, Maria Valeu, and that's what we got from Palu at the end. It seems like he's finding his new form in a completely different team at w7m. Talked about the play style, Liquid versus w7m now. He still shined in this game, but overall, a team effort from both squads is even on the scoreboard. It was pretty much equal between the two teams. Scoreboard in the game, in every single metric that you could put up there.
I mean, it was a very close game. It could have went either way, even down to the last round. Both teams, every single player was putting their heart and soul into it. And obviously, like Palu said, it's going to take a little bit of time for him to gel with the rest of the team. They're still giving him pointers, trying to make him feel comfortable in that environment on what to do, what not to do. And that's the biggest thing for w7m, just getting a little bit more comfortable.
Gentlemen, speaking of kind of how to adapt, we have to talk about our black light detail for this, and this is very much a special one. Again, a big thank you to our sponsors here at Reload in Rio, but we often talk about mental, right? Yes. You always have to reset, and coaches play a big part of it.
Yeah, and I'm glad we can highlight a coach here. Sure, it wasn't on the winning roster of M80, but the thing is, you have to highlight this moment, because in the timeout for this moment that Fabian was bringing to the team, this was a defining moment for this team to be able to bounce back, be able to realize where the mistakes were happening. Because we heard in that timeout that people were saying, we need to focus on we need to focus on the camps. So they were bringing the IQ to disrupt the bout. Then they were talking about using Dokkaebi to get into the building quicker, use that information from those Dokkaebi calls, and then almost immediately we saw that 5-2 immediately transition into a 5-5.
Let's listen into it then and see exactly what happened.
Yes, as I said, Fenrir, if we have the Twitch, bring the IQ, because they are playing off information and playing aggro. They couldn't do it on basement so much as they wanted to, but you saw it with the Echo Drone. They were not letting go of space. They were not giving you an inch. Do a 3-2-1 when you execute for the first layer of the defenders. So when you're going for like mess or whatever, do a 3-2-1, go together.
Yeah.
They're going to send more people to help. but the 3-2-1 will help you guys clear them out. So you're 5 versus 3 at once.
It always feels good to listen to Fabian giving this sort of strategy, because when he was on the desk, he would break things down in the same exact way that we have here with Fox. This, I guess, brings back some memories of having somebody behind you just kind of leading the way and preparing you for the rest after the timeout.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, I never had a coach like Fabian, but I will say I gotta appreciate the maturity of him and his growth, because we've heard timeouts with G2, the iconic one, right? We've heard timeouts with PSG Town. Got a little hot and heavy, but the way that he was talking there was very clear. He understands and believes in the teammates that he has on his team, and obviously they understood immediately what they needed to do, and he was just giving really good problem-solving adaptability to his players, and he wasn't overcomplicating it. He was allowing the players to play themselves, just with a little bit of guidance.
Seems like when you get married, you mellow out of it. You're not as antsy as you were before. This is the way that I can explain it, as someone basically as old as Fabian in our own rights. But at the end of the day, this is still the team that lost the game, right? Yeah. M80 gave it their all, but it could have been a coin flip. And either way, throughout that entire matchup, W7M walk away with 2 bullets on top of what they put in.
They do. And again, to reiterate how close that game was and that it really was a nail-biter, could have went either way. Had that moment not happen, I mean, you can't really tell the future, but realistically, they were down 2-5. So I really do want to put that credit on that detailed moment to allow Fabian to really just excel his team and put them in a driver's seat.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, because our day is actually not done yet. We still have 2 more segments and one really special one at the end of the day. First, let's recap everything that had happened today between both streams and talking about the best 3 matches that we witnessed today, but all that after the break.